You met him in 1994, didn't you?
I did, yes.
First time. What sort of guy was he?
Just a normal, everyday guy.
What was his job?
At the time, he was a telephone engineer and into computers as well.
And did he say that he had to travel a lot?
Yes, he often had to travel away for work. So he'd be away maybe a week at a time.
Which is fine. I mean, lots of people have to work away. You had 3 children. You married in 2003, but you had this shock of family news in 2009 when you were on holiday in Cornwall, and he sat the family down. And what did he tell you?
He said, "Unfortunately, bad news for you. I've got jugular cancer, and so I've got 3 months to live." And the children were just
absolutely floored.
They were, yeah.
As you would be. And the sort of confusing bit about this is that he then tells you that he has to go and have specialist treatment up at the hospital in Newcastle, which means he's going to be away an awful lot.
Yes.
And it seems slightly odd because you think, well, you didn't go with him, and he was up there for a long period of time, and he'd call you. Why did you not go and visit him up there?
Well, there's always an excuse.
Right.
Well, it was Newcastle because it was the best hospital.
Yeah.
He was working up there, so he'd stay up there. But, well, you can't bring the 3 children up. It's such a long way for you to drive.
Right.
And then we would actually arrange times and, oh, you can't come up, I'm going further away to work, or I'm in the middle of some more treatment.
There was always
so there was never any sort of selfies in the hospital. There was nothing that would indicate that any of this treatment was actually going on at all. It's only in hindsight you look back and think there was nothing going on.
Exactly, yeah.
So he said that he was terminally ill and he had how long to live?
3 months.
And how long was he away from you?
Well, since
7 years?
At least, yes.
Yeah.
So 7 years. I mean, you must have thought this is a remarkable recovery.
Well, yeah. He kept saying the treatment was going well.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you have any suspicions at all?
Not really. I mean, I suppose we're a little bit silly when you think about it, but...
But hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
It is, isn't
Not
it?
when you're in it. So, Sally, in the meantime, 2008, and you met Michael on a dating website, didn't you?
Yes, yeah.
And you said, actually, there were sort of telltale signs. It was all a bit of a whirlwind romance, and you got engaged after 8 months. But the signs that you said that were there looking back, he said that there was a reason he was on the dating website in the first place. What was that?
He said he was doing research. He wasn't really on a dating site. He was just doing research because he was going to open a dating site of his own.
Right, OK. And was he away from you for long periods of time as well, or was he suspicious?
He used to pop in and out, and then obviously after he moved in, he was working nights.
Right.
You the things for you that began to come apart was when you moved into a small cottage, didn't you?
Yeah, we moved up north.
And it was damp, and you say that he wasn't really working very much.
No.
He wouldn't let you work. Was he controlling?
Very controlling.
In what way?
He just didn't want me to work. He wanted us together all the time. If I looked for a job, he went mad, absolutely went berserk, started packing all his bags. Black plastic bags came out, in went his clothes. I want a divorce.
You nearly caught him, didn't you, in 2009? I think there was a card in the car, wasn't there?
2009 we got married, yeah.
Yeah. So what did you find in his car?
Well, I found in our car a card that said, to Mum and Dad, lots of love from Michael and Andrea. So it was a card that they had obviously written when they were together. And
how did he explain that then?
Well, he said, oh, it must be whoever had the car before me.
So it was only when he sold the car much later, and then you checked the log book and realised...
No, Michael had ever owned that car.
So who got suspicious first? How did you uncover all of this?
Well, I left him in 2014, and one morning before I left, I looked at my Facebook, and I happened, because his name Andrea had stuck in my mind. Thank you. And I looked up Andrea Eels on Facebook.
So you contacted Andrea on Facebook, and you didn't get that message for 3 years, but you did eventually get it.
Yes, I did.
You did get in contact with each other, and that first time when you met, that dawning realisation of both things, really. Not only had you married the same man at the same time, but also that he'd lied to your family about this terminal illness.
Yeah, I mean...
So how did that feel?
Well, it felt dreadful that he could lie to 3 small children. You know, I am dying, and to my elderly parents. He went round and he said to them, you know, I'm dying, I'll never see you again. And he cried.
And for you, he left you in financial ruin.
I was living in a 3-bedroom detached house when I met him. I had a good hairdressing business, a lot of clients on my books, and he watched me give all that up to move up to Newcastle, which was obviously very convenient for him. I had got family there.
Yeah, it was when you met up, having spoken on Facebook, and you met up, you showed each other your marriage documents. That you know, there's your proof, and you called the police. On Valentine's Day, appropriate. On Valentine's Day 2018, Michael Eels was convicted of bigamy at Lewes Crown Court. Is currently serving 3 months in prison. What do you think of that sentence?
Well, I think that's dreadful. He should have got at least 3 years or more. I mean, just to lie about the cancer was bad enough.
And we've been told that he'll only serve a third of that anyway.
Yeah,
and the compensation that he...
£1,000 a year.
Yeah, well, I said, you know, why was it only £1,000? And the police said, well, it's, as, you know, what he can afford. And I thought, well, I hope the people I pay my debt to, I wish they had the same principle.
Yeah.